partner/high school sweetheart of 15 years cheated on me. Hi everyone. I'm not perfect. I have engaged in conversations with 2 women in the past, but it had never led to being romantically involved. This was through college, and when my partner found out, I stopped the communication. Years passed, and I received messages separately from those women just saying hi, and I kept it platonic. I shouldn't have responded, or kept the friendship knowing my partner was not okay with it. This was about 7 years ago, and I did stop communication. This past February, my partner found out that I had subscribed to one of these girls' OnlyFans from a year ago. I admit it was dumb of me, and I, mentally, got nothing out of subscribing and forgot about OnlyFans and didn't sign back or seek it. Our relationship has been very difficult recently. We hadn't gotten married yet, but we had gotten to a place mentally where we were going to look at rings and I would propose this year. We went through a lot of difficult things together and with family that really took up our time. We were high school sweethearts at 15 and did long distance through college. The last 2 years we were working through couples counseling on our differences and strengths. Throughout our relationship, I assumed intimacy was normal and never pressured or forced S3X. Last year we were intimate, probably twice, and it would boil down to, I'm waiting for marriage, and be dangled over my head. Thus leading to me looking at P0RN and then getting curious about it. I was not addicted to P0RN, and I would go a month or 2 without thinking about it. We would rarely have S3X and go months without any type of S3X. I would get frustrated and communicate how it was something important multiple times. She would just say, okay, I hear you and understand, and it would lead to nothing. After she found out, she moved out the house, ignored me, and wanted space. She purchased a home in 2021 that we were renovating. I initially thought we purchased it together, and I provided my life savings towards a down payment. I kept getting reminded it was her home for her family, and it pushed me away from wanting to renovate and be present. This really hurt me and pushed me away from wanting to be involved with the home, but I still helped renovate, look for and pick up material, install and help with the renovation. Renovation consisted of full electrical work, sheetrock removal and reinstallation, full bathroom/kitchen demo and remodel, hardwood floor installation. I mean, everything was redone, and I stayed around because I care and wanted the best for this home. When she moved out, she continued remodeling, and I would show up to continue working since we had painters working on the inside. She pulled me aside and told me she didn't want to see me or at the house. I left and respected the space she asked of me. Time passes and she's cold and distant but says, we can go on a few dates to see if we are still compatible, and I'm over the moon. We go to dinner a few times. I take her lunch at her house. I try to be a bit more present but still not overly pushy. Between February and May she was cold, distant, and moved into a different place. In May she tells me she was intimate with someone else after I had taken her on a trip during Mother's Day weekend in Monterey. She felt guilty, I guess, and decided to tell me Tuesday after the trip. I didn't know what to say or react. A lot of things made sense. All the doors had been rekeyed and I couldn't get in anymore. Out late evenings, she would text me good morning and good night, but it would be different than how we used to text. I then find out it was one of the painters that I had introduced to her to do the work for us. He was my dad's friend that did a great job, and he had his workers that would help. His worker took advantage of her emotional state, and that's who she was romantically involved with. He's 15 years older than her, is an alcoholic and has substance abuse issues, has 5 kids, lives with his ex. I know all this because I know him from when I was younger. She said she had been involved with him 2 times, and they had gone on dates and dinners, and she felt terrible. I didn't know how to react, and I just was quiet. She assured me she wasn't involved anymore, and she wanted us to work things out. I gave it a chance. We had planned to go to Japan for 3 weeks in June months prior to this, and I had my ticket already. She got hers last minute and went. It wasn't a vacation. It was an emotionally draining experience for me, but I assumed it was me processing what was happening. Fast forward to 4th of July week. I worked remotely from Sea Ranch for 7 days. I invited her to come with me since I would be alone, and she said she couldn't because the laundry room would be built and the house, and she had plans with her sisters and blah blah blah. I said okay, that's fine, and she knows where I'll be at. She arrives Thursday, 4th, at night after we had a heated discussion via text. I mentioned I wanted to move on and meet other people on Monday. She arrives Thursday and wants to fix things, and we spent time and did our best to be happy. I noticed she was sneaking away during the day taking calls or spending a long time in the bathroom. I overheard something that made me suspicious, and she had gaslit me in the past saying, "You have my phone password. Go ahead, go through it. There's nothing on there that I haven't told you or that you don't know about." I investigated, and I knew Apple had this feature where messages have to be deleted from another folder to not appear anymore, and recovered a 900 message thread of them too from the last month or two. There I read things like, "I love you, and in all my life, I haven't done any of those things with anyone else even though other men have tried to come on to me." Things like, "Dinner is ready." I saw pictures of her sending her nails she got done while wearing a sweater of his. Sunday, she went to a lavender field. Same day I left to see ranch. At 9:30 p.m., she messaged him saying she forgot to give me a bouquet of lavender. This man was still coming to her house to renovate, and she would still message him. Wednesday the 3rd, I read she went out dancing with him and her high school friend. She picked him up and she dropped him off because he doesn't have a car. I wasn't even furious anymore. I was just disappointed. Her Nest camera has video of him working on the house almost every evening. I see him all flirty on the camera, spraying her with the hose as she passes by, and then she sprays him when he passes by. If I ever sprayed her with water at my house, she would yell at me, and we would have a huge argument over me being inconsiderate and a jerk. She never stopped communication with him, even after she told me in May they were intimate. She confessed 2 days ago they had S3X 4 times in public, and one of those was in a couple's massage place. She shared her test results with me, saying she didn't have anything and that I don't need to worry and she can get tested every week if that means I will be okay. Our families are extremely rooted together. I am afraid my dad will find out about his friend's worker that had a relationship with my partner. They are messy people, and as a kid I never wanted to be involved with any of them, and it kills me to know she fell for his words. That man is a deadbeat father, alcoholic, and substance abuser. He was looking to secure his financial stability by saying every word she needed to hear, and she had no idea. His previous relationship and mother of his 2 kids is the same story. He said nice things to her while she was married, had unprotected S3X, and gave her their first kid. I told her that if she never stopped having anything romantic with him, she would be pregnant now. I know the correct thing is to leave. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to share this. I don't know who to talk to. I am so embarrassed. I am disgusted. I am the only one that knows this. She still messages me and comes to my house to see me. I don't have it in me to completely remove her from my life, but I want to know where to start.